My brothers and sisters, when we talk about angels entering our homes, we're not just speaking about some abstract, unseen reality. We're speaking about the presence of Barakah, divine blessing, in our daily lives. Angels are not random spiritual beings hovering in the sky. They are servants of Allah, carrying His mercy, recording our deeds, and surrounding gatherings of remembrance. When the angels enter your home, it's not only symbolic, it's transformative. Their presence changes the energy, the atmosphere, the tone of the house. Suddenly, there's calmness where there was tension, peace where there was restlessness, and light where there was confusion. Think about it. When a house is filled with Qur'an, with Dhikr, with sincere prayers, it becomes more than just a physical shelter. It becomes a spiritual sanctuary. The Prophet Muhammad said that angels are attracted to gatherings of remembrance, where Allah is mentioned and His greatness is spoken of. These are places where the heart feels alive, and the opposite is also true. When the heart is dead, the angels stay away. So ask yourself, what kind of energy fills your home? Is it the light of remembrance, or the noise of heedlessness? Angels, by their very nature, are drawn to purity. They represent clarity, order, and obedience. Their presence mirrors the state of the home's inhabitants. If there's sincerity, humility, and connection to Allah, they are comfortable there. But if there's arrogance, sin, or spiritual pollution, they withdraw. This is not punishment, it's a reflection of divine law. The spiritual realm responds to what we create in the physical realm. Just like you wouldn't stay in a place filled with smoke and filth, angels do not remain in an environment clouded with neglect of Allah. There's also a psychological dimension here. When you fill your home with Qur'an, you are, in essence, feeding your soul. Your mind begins to find stillness, your heart feels anchored, and your family becomes more harmonious. The angel's presence is tied to these changes. They don't just bring tranquility, they amplify it. On the other hand, when the home is filled with argument, gossip, music that distracts from remembrance, and images that glorify the ego, it becomes spiritually suffocating. The angels withdraw, and what remains is the echo of emptiness. And this isn't about being overly strict, it's about awareness. You see, everything we do sends an invitation, either to angels or to something else. When you switch off the television and open the Qur'an, you're saying, Ya Allah, fill my home with your light. When you lower your voice, when you speak kindly to your spouse or your children, when you forgive someone even though your ego resists, it's as though you're building a place where angels want to stay. So, brothers and sisters, the question is not whether angels visit your home, it's whether you've created a home that welcomes them. Every verse recited, every prayer whispered, every act of kindness done for Allah's sake, it all builds a space of peace. And when peace fills your home, know that it's a reflection of Allah's mercy descending upon you. Let your home be a place where angels feel at home, because where angels dwell, Allah's light dwells too. My brothers and sisters, when we say that angels refuse to enter certain homes, we're not describing something mythical or superstitious. This is a serious spiritual reality that the Prophet Muhammad clearly warned us about. Angels, by the command of Allah, are beings of purity and light. Their absence from a place is not random. It's a reflection of what that place has become. When angels stay away, it means the spiritual atmosphere has become so polluted that it no longer welcomes divine presence, and that's not a small matter. It's like losing a connection to a source of peace without even realizing it. You see, we often underestimate how the unseen world interacts with our everyday life. We assume that because we cannot see angels or devils, their presence or absence doesn't affect us, but it does deeply. When angels withdraw, what takes their place are forces of negativity, the shayatin. Suddenly the home begins to feel heavy, you wake up tired even after sleeping, arguments erupt over small things. There's a constant sense of agitation, a lack of contentment, and a strange emptiness that material things cannot fill. This is not coincidence. It's the natural consequence of pushing away the divine and inviting in the opposite. Now, think about this on a deeper level. A home is meant to be a place of safety, a refuge from the chaos of the outside world. But when angels no longer enter, that sense of refuge disappears. It's as if the walls can no longer protect you from anxiety, anger, or spiritual darkness. You might have the most expensive furniture, the best technology, the perfect decor, but if the angels have turned away, the house becomes just a shell, beautiful on the outside but hollow within. The Prophet mentioned very specific reasons for this divine withdrawal. The presence of images or statues that depict living beings, dogs kept unnecessarily inside the house, impurity, or activities that dishonor Allah. These aren't random restrictions, they are spiritual laws. Just like fire burns whoever touches it, whether they believe in it or not, these actions repel angels whether we understand the mechanism or not. It's about spiritual hygiene. If the space is filled with things that contradict the nature of purity, the beings of purity will not stay there. But this warning is not meant to make us fearful. It's meant to awaken awareness. Because awareness is the beginning of transformation. The moment you realize that your habits, your surroundings, your choices have spiritual consequences, you gain the power to change them. When you remove what offends the angels, you open the door for mercy to return. And when mercy returns, peace follows. So, brothers and sisters, ask yourself today, have I created an environment that attracts light or one that drives it away? What have I normalized in my home that might be quietly repelling the angels of mercy? Remember, a home without angels is not truly alive, no matter how much luxury it contains. True life, true peace, comes only when Allah's mercy resides within your walls. If you want angels to stay, live in a way that makes them feel welcome, and when they stay, tranquility will never leave you. My brothers and sisters, when we talk about the reasons angels don't enter certain homes, we need to understand that these are not arbitrary rules. They are reflections of deep spiritual principles. Allah's creation operates with precision. Angels are beings of light. They are drawn to purity and repelled by impurity, not just in the physical sense, but in the spiritual sense as well. So when the Prophet Muhammad told us that angels do not enter homes that contain certain things, he was not merely giving a list of prohibitions. He was teaching us how to protect our spiritual environment, how to maintain a space that welcomes divine tranquility. One of the main reasons angels refrain from entering a home is the presence of images or statues that depict living beings, humans or animals. This is not about art or creativity, it's about imitation and distraction. Islam teaches us to preserve the sanctity of creation and to avoid anything that could lead to idolatry or arrogance. When we decorate our homes with lifelike images or sculptures, we unknowingly mimic what Allah alone has the power to create. Philosophically, it's a reminder that when the ego begins to imitate the divine, it distances itself from the divine. Angels who embody obedience and humility are not comfortable in a space where such symbols exist. Another reason is the keeping of dogs inside the house without necessity. The Prophet clearly stated that angels do not enter a home where there is a dog, except in cases of need, such as for protection, farming, or hunting. This again teaches us balance and discipline. Islam doesn't condemn animals, but it calls us to respect the boundary between what is necessary and what is indulgent. Spiritually speaking, unnecessary attachment to worldly comforts, even in small things, can slowly close the doors to spiritual light. The angel's absence becomes a reflection of our misplaced priorities. Then there is impurity, physical, moral, and spiritual. Angels thrive in cleanliness, for cleanliness is half of faith. A home where the Qur'an is neglected, where prayers are delayed, or where sinful activities are normalized, becomes a space of heaviness. The angels are beings of remembrance. They cannot coexist with heedlessness. This includes homes filled with constant noise, music that distracts from the remembrance of Allah, gossip that poisons the heart, or entertainment that glorifies sin. These are not harmless habits. They shape the spiritual frequency of your space, and angels do not remain where Allah's name is forgotten. But here's the beauty of it all. Every one of these barriers can be removed. You don't have to live in a spiritually dark home. When you take down the images, when you restore purity, when you fill your house with Qur'an, when you make the adhan echo through your walls, you are, in essence, sending out a call. Angels of mercy, you are welcome here. So, reflect on your surroundings tonight. Look around your home not just with your eyes, but with your heart. What do you see that invites light, and what do you see that blocks it? Every small change you make for Allah's sake transforms your space into a sanctuary. Cleanse your home, purify your atmosphere, and you will find where angels dwell, peace reigns. My brothers and sisters, when angels turn away from a home, the impact is not only spiritual, it's emotional, psychological, and even social. You begin to feel it in ways you can't always explain. The home starts to lose its warmth. The laughter feels empty. Conversations become tense, and even moments of silence carry an uneasiness. This is the hidden impact of a spiritually polluted home. It's not about the walls, the furniture, or the decorations. It's about the unseen energy that fills the space, the unseen presence that either brings peace or strips it away. When angels are present, their light brings sakinah, a tranquility that seeps into the heart. But when they withdraw, that tranquility is replaced by subtle forms of darkness. Suddenly anger becomes easier, patience becomes harder, and forgiveness feels unnatural. The home starts to feel heavy, not because of stress or circumstance, but because the divine calm that once blessed it is no longer there. Shaitan loves that emptiness, he thrives in it. Where angels bring mercy, he brings conflict. Where they inspire remembrance, he fuels forgetfulness. And when the remembrance of Allah fades, the door to chaos opens wider and wider. Now, think about this in psychological terms. A spiritually polluted home affects the mind. People begin to feel anxious for no reason. They struggle to focus in prayer, or they find themselves constantly irritated. You may have experienced this. You sit down to make dhikr, but your mind wanders, your heart feels disconnected, and your surroundings seem restless. That's not always about your mood. Sometimes it's about your environment. Just like dust affects the air we breathe, spiritual impurities affect the peace our souls breathe. The Prophet Muhammad said that the heart becomes rusty from heedlessness, and the polish that removes that rust is remembrance of Allah. A home without remembrance becomes a place where hearts rust faster. And this doesn't only affect individuals, it affects relationships. How many homes are filled with conflict, tension, and emotional distance, even when there's no clear reason? Often, it's because the angels of mercy are missing. The light that brings empathy and understanding has been replaced by darkness that feeds pride and ego. That's why sometimes arguments seem to start from nowhere, and family members stop truly listening to one another. When divine peace departs, human peace follows. But here's what's powerful. This is not a permanent state. Allah never leaves a heart or a home in darkness if it sincerely seeks light. You can rebuild that spiritual atmosphere. It begins with small acts. Playing Qur'an instead of music, greeting your family with Assalamu alaikum, making dua together, removing images or habits that invite heedlessness. Each of these actions is like reopening a window that lets light back in. So, ask yourself, is your home a place where angels would feel at peace, or a place they would avoid, because the truth is, our surroundings are mirrors of our hearts. If you want your home to be filled with tranquility, begin by purifying your inner world. When the heart is illuminated, the home follows, and remember, when angels leave, peace leaves, but when they return, mercy flows once again. My brothers and sisters, the mercy of Allah is vast, and the beauty of our faith is that no matter how far we drift, the doors to change are never closed. If angels have turned away from your home, they can return. And not only return, but fill that space with light, peace, and protection once again. Allah does not deprive, He invites. And the moment you take even one sincere step toward Him, He opens the way for His mercy to flow back into your life. So how do we invite angels back into our homes? It begins with intention, a conscious decision to purify your space for the sake of Allah. Start with the Qur'an. The Prophet Muhammad taught that reciting Surah Al-Baqarah drives away Shaitan from a home. There's a profound wisdom in that. The Qur'an is not just a book of words, it is divine light in sound. When you recite it, you're not only filling the air with the remembrance of Allah, you're cleansing the unseen realm of your home. You're inviting angels to return because they are drawn to the voice of revelation. It changes the vibration of the space. It heals what can't be seen. The same walls that once echoed with gossip or worldly noise now echo with verses that descend from the heavens. Then comes cleanliness, both outward and inward. A clean home attracts angels because purity reflects divine order. But cleanliness isn't only about sweeping floors or tidying rooms. It's about the purity of the heart, removing grudges, arrogance, and resentment. When you purify your heart, the peace of your inner world begins to radiate outward, shaping the energy of your home. Angels feel comfortable in such a space because it mirrors the serenity of their nature. And fill your house with Dhikr, with remembrance. When the name of Allah is mentioned frequently, the atmosphere changes. Try this. Before you sleep, say Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. Teach your children to do the same. When you cook, when you drive, when you sit quietly, keep your tongue moist with remembrance. These small acts of awareness become powerful shields against the darkness that tries to creep into our lives. There's also something deeply spiritual about praying together. When a family prays in congregation, even just two people, the house becomes alive with Barakah. The Prophet said that when people gather to remember Allah, angels surround them, mercy envelops them, and Allah mentions them to those near Him. Imagine that a home that's not only filled with prayer, but is also being mentioned in the heavens. That's the kind of peace every heart longs for. So, my brothers and sisters, think about what you allow into your space. Every sound, every image, every conversation. These are invitations. The question is, whom are you inviting? When you consciously choose Qur'an over distraction, remembrance over gossip, purity over carelessness, you're not just changing your habits, you're changing the spiritual ecosystem of your home. Let your home be more than just a structure of walls and furniture. Let it be a sanctuary of light, a place where angels descend and hearts find rest. Because when the angels return, they don't come alone. They bring with them the peace you've been searching for all along. My brothers and sisters, at the end of the day, it all comes down to a simple but profound choice. Who do you want to welcome into your home? Angels or devils? Every day, with every action, with every word, we are sending invitations to the unseen world. The atmosphere of your home isn't created by the furniture or the paint on the walls. It's shaped by the spiritual energy that you feed. And that energy is a reflection of your choices, your conversations, your habits, your priorities, and the level of remembrance of Allah that lives within those walls. If your home is filled with Qur'an, with prayer, with compassion and forgiveness, then angels will make it their dwelling. But if it's filled with anger, gossip, neglect of prayer, and heedlessness, then you have to realize you're the one who opened the door for darkness to enter. Angels do not force their way in, and neither do devils. They respond to what they are invited to. Spiritually speaking, your home mirrors your soul. When your heart remembers Allah, your home reflects that remembrance. When your heart becomes distant from Allah, your home feels it too. Now, philosophically, think about this. Every home has a sound, even in silence. The angels hear it. It's the vibration of what dominates that space, the sound of dhikr, or the sound of heedlessness. When you speak kindly, when you forgive a mistake, when you recite a verse, that sound resonates in the unseen. Angels are drawn to it because it aligns with their nature. But when voices are raised in anger, when insults replace compassion, and when the remembrance of Allah is replaced with mindless entertainment, the angels leave. And in their absence, negativity takes root. It begins subtle: impatience, irritability, arguments over trivial things, but soon it becomes a cycle. The peace you once felt begins to fade, and you don't even realize when or how it happened. But Allah, in His mercy, reminds us again and again that change begins from within. You can reclaim that peace. You can choose light again. You can choose to make your home a place where angels feel at ease. And the most beautiful part is that it doesn't take much. A simple bismillah before eating, a short dua before sleeping, a few verses of Qur'an after Fajr. These small acts open the doors to mercy in ways you can't imagine. Over time, they transform the entire environment. The light of remembrance grows, and suddenly your home feels different, calmer, softer, alive. That is the effect of Allah's presence manifesting through your actions. So, brothers and sisters, ask yourself honestly, who do I want dwelling in my home? Because your daily habits are already answering that question for you. You can't have both angels and devils under the same roof. One will always drive the other out. Let your home be a place of light, a refuge of remembrance, a space where the angels descend with peace and mercy. For when you invite the angels in, you're not just filling your home, you're filling your heart with the presence of Allah Himself.